Well, good afternoon. We want to welcome you to our Missouri After School Network Entrepreneurship in After School Micro Grants Round 3 webinar. That's a mouthful, sort of like Aaron Banks' title. So, hi, I'm Mark Calson. I'm the Associate Director of Policy and Partnerships with the Missouri After School Network, and we are so delighted to have folks join us today. And if you're watching this as a recorded webinar, we're glad that you're taking a look at this and making consideration of applying for a microgrant to either continue or introduce entrepreneurship into your after-school program. And we're just glad that you are with us. I also have with me my colleague, Aaron. Aaron, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Aaron Banks, as Mark mentioned just a minute ago, my title is with Mason, the College and Post-Secondary Access and Entrepreneurship Coordinator for Mason. And so, I'm involved in everything to do with anything, after school related and with entrepreneurship.
So this is part of a couple of initiatives that we have with Mason. Is in the College Career Readiness, is what the Mott Foundation calls it. We call it the Career Awareness and Post-Secondary Access. So that's hence the long title for Aaron. And then we also have a grant for entrepreneurship in after school. Entrepreneurship education after school is another Mott grant. So we are very, very grateful for the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation for many reasons, but for giving us the opportunity to support programs in entrepreneurship education is very, very key. So we're really glad that we get the chance to do this. Real quickly, let's have some quick introductions for those that are on this. If you don't mind unmuting, and we will make quick introductions. And so I'm going to start with the folks that I see first. So Janelle, would you start? And we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Janelle Stanek. I'm the Care Day and Summer School Coordinator for the Warren County R3 School District. We're a 4-day school week, and so we run a before and after care Tuesday through Friday, but also full day care on Mondays in our district.
And Janelle's been the recipient of a chamber grant in the past, which helped launch their entrepreneurship project, and we're all excited about that. So glad that she's here. Hey, Gail, would you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Gail Sharp, and I am the Director of Youth Programs for Provident Behavioral Health. We house 11 after-school programs in St. Louis City and County.
Yeah, we love the work that Provident does and all the work they do with the after-school programs. Thanks for being with us today, Gail. And Renata, I think I said that right.
That is correct. Renata Chandler here, President and CEO of Smart Kids, Inc. We're a nonprofit organization that provides one-on-one tutoring and mentoring services for the St. Louis County and St. Louis City low to moderate income school districts.
Awesome. Renata, thanks for joining us. We're so glad you're with us.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And Matthew, I think you're also part of Gail's team.
I am. I'm the Senior Grants Manager, so just kind of providing a little backup today.
That's awesome. Glad you're with us. And then Shakira, you're going to get to speak in a few minutes, but we'll go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Shakira and I'm with United by Creativity, and our mission is to close our achievement gap with civic education and youth entrepreneurship. So we've been doing a lot of work with Mark and his team, and it's been great. And
Shakira's in Kansas City, so we're traversing the state today, which is always nice. So that's awesome. And Mr. Scott Mann has jumped in with us.
Hey everyone, nice to see some familiar faces and new faces. Scott Mann, Director of Education with VentureLab. We are technical assistant to the Missouri After School Network in youth entrepreneurship, also working with their CAPSA initiative around career awareness and exploration, and always happy to meet and hopefully support you all doing great work out there in after school. So thank you.
And we are ever grateful for our partnership with VentureLab and continue to promote them wherever we go. We talked big time about them out in Vegas. So I just want to, I think I told Scott that, but everywhere we go, we talk about them. We actually talked about you this week, Scott, when we were at the Missouri Secondary School Principals Conference. So we'll continue to talk about you. We'll probably talk about you on Friday when we talk to Missouri school counselors. So just know that you're being talked about. So we're grateful for our partners. We're going to talk about our partners here in a little bit. We have another great partnership with the Young Entrepreneur Institute as well. We'll talk about them here in just a moment. So we're glad that, oh, okay. All right. We'll make sure we get the link to Kelly and so she can jump in with us as well. All right. So we'll just, here's what we're going to cover here in the next few moments. We've done our welcomes. We're going to overview micro grants. We're going to talk about our youth entrepreneurship pathway. One of the things that's been really exciting is in the initial work of the first 2 years, we developed 3 briefs on our work at entrepreneurship education in the after school space. We can also make those available to you, so you have those as supporting documents if you would like, but also we'll go through that pathway with you. Talk about our curriculum resource providers. Obviously, we just introduced Scott, and Kelly may be joining us here shortly, and she'll get a chance to also share with you. Just an overview of program planning, what you can do with your entrepreneurship initiative, and then how to apply, and then any Q&A. So we will jump in now and give you some oversight. So entrepreneurship and after school over the last 2 years in Missouri has been really exciting. The pictures you see here is from a former grantee, one of our past grantees, Greenworks Labs in Kansas City, the way in which they engaged high school students in entrepreneurship and in developing business ideas, but also learning all about the business process. And so this is, we have felt really, really fortunate to have had a number of after-school programs across the state who've engaged with us in the last 2 years. I mean, when I say that, I mean, in my mind's eye, I see the Kansas City region, I see mid-Missouri, I see the St. Louis region, we have Southeast Missouri and Southwest Missouri. We have pretty much covered the state with this initiative. And again, we want to do more and more and more. I mean, it's nice to have the regions covered, but we want to also involve as many as possible. And this is both on a program level, but then also programs supporting individual students. So it can be program project driven, like in Poplar Bluff, the BGC, the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland, now called Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland. Their teens, their high school program wanted to utilize this micro grant so that they started an entrepreneurial project. And the reason they did it was to buy new kitchen equipment for their cooking club. So they started a t-shirt business, and they've done very well with it. And they've now bought many new items for their kitchen, for their cooking club. So again, it's a variety of ways that this happens. And again, we're really excited that this project specifically targets middle school and high school students. But if you have some elementary students that you want to do with this, please feel free to also engage them as well. So entrepreneurship in the after school space. I mean, those bullets, those big, bold bullets say it all. It is fun and empowering. And one of the things that we have noticed is the opportunities to engage middle school and high school students. We have been talking about this this week, actually, in speaking to middle school, junior high, and high school principals, that Missouri is one of the states that has one of the higher engagements of middle school and high school students. And the creative ways to do that are right here in this entrepreneurial space. And specifically, one of the things that we see in engaging students specifically from under-resourced areas is it gives them this opportunity with a mentor to say, hey, you can do this. There's a bright future. And if you want to own your own business, we want to make that happen, and we want to show you how that can happen. And so it really also, I love this from the Utah After School Program leader. Said, I learned how important it was to be a facilitator of conversations and not just the teacher, to facilitate and get out of the way. We're helping our students embrace their authenticity. So it really also helps those mentors, those adults that are going to be helping the students. It really engages them as well. And one of the serendipities might be that you might have a staffer that's going, you know what? I thought I might want to do this. And they're going to pick up some of the key aspects, and they may decide that they want to also still work with you, but they may want to go get a side hustle and really make that dream come true, right? So that could be a possibility as well. One of the really key aspects of this is the opportunity to really support high school students, or students, middle school and high school students, in this career readiness aspect. We've said all along that our CAPSA initiative and our entrepreneurship initiative do this. They go hand in glove. They support each other because they're providing those opportunities for students to see what their future can be. You see some of those statistics that 90% of high school teachers and counselors surveyed by NFIB says students are interested in entrepreneurship, but 75% of students don't know where to start. And these kinds of initiatives are ways in which we can give that opportunity for them to get those, get that start and get that information. Overview of the micro grants. We want to provide these opportunities, these 5 bullet points for programs. And it really does provide these ways in which students can begin to see what their future can be, but also do it right now. What I love about the work that we do specifically with our resource partners with VentureLab and YEI, the Young Entrepreneur Institute, is they provide the way in which students can do it now. They're not just looking at the future, they're developing that mindset, they're getting the mindset and the skills to develop and launch a business today. And but it also just, and the other thing that I want to say about this work is we talk a lot about preparing students for future, you being future ready. There's terms like soft skills or employability skills, or as we say for the folks in St. Louis, Dr. Art McCoy, the former superintendent at Jennings, calls them power skills because they are the skills that empower students to become, really take a hold of their future. But these are the skills that help students be future ready and have the ability to go into the workplace and make this happen. So lots of new partnerships that happen with this grant. You don't have to do this alone. Gives you the chance to build out your capacity and build new partnerships as well. Engaging your business community could be you engage your chamber. There's a lot of ways for this to happen, but one of the things I love, number 5, this to me is a key on this. It gains that awareness. It elevates the level of awareness in your community of the work of your after school program, how it impacts education, workforce, and entrepreneurial development. So just another way to make your community aware of what's happening in your program and how you're impacting students and families in your community. Aaron, why don't you take this one and just kind of hit on these bullet points.
Okay. So this is kind of the specifics about the grant itself. If you have a project already that you've been working on, feel free to apply, but first-time applicants are definitely welcome. We're going to be giving out between 6 and 10 awards of up to $2,000. And like Mark mentioned, we are targeting middle and high school students, but if you've got some program that includes the lower grades, feel free to include them in your summary of your project. Mark will touch on the stages of entrepreneurship. We are opening this up to all 4 stages. Previously, we've kind of been focusing on the 3rd and 4th stage, which is the development level of the projects. But with new programs coming in and just touching on entrepreneurship, we want to make sure that, if you're wanting to just get started, that you're able to do that. Projects are intended to run between June 1st and December 15th. So all projects will need to be wrapped up by the 15th. And we'll have curriculum that you can use. We'll have trainers available for you to help you along the way with that. And then you're going to have access to virtual learning, professional development type things, our monthly PLC meetings. So we'll be right there with you, holding your hand, helping you out, answering questions.
I love that you brought that up, Aaron, and that's a key aspect. One of the things about this grant is that if your project is approved, then you become a part of our monthly peer learning community. You get to hear from other past recipients as well as those who are currently involved. So we learn from each other and then have access to those resources. And Aaron is exactly right. We don't want you to feel like you're going this alone. You get lots of support in this process. So here's the pathway that Aaron talked about. And he said that, round 2 projects really built on those folks that were doing round 1 projects in that engage and launch phase. But it just takes time. Some of our folks who started out in round 1, they wanted to go back foundational, and they used the round $2 to really build on that, explore and learn those first 2. So this is basic. This is our pathway, introducing students to entrepreneurship in phase 1, exposure and exploration. It could be that you may then utilize curriculum from VentureLab to really get them familiar with the mindsets and the skills. But this is that first level of seeing where students can begin in this process. And so then the second is in that skill building, learning from each step along the way. They will begin to work in groups, explore what entrepreneurs do and the skills that they need, focus on that skill set. Our real goal here is that every time you engage students in this process is to build their efficacy. It's interesting to me when we, in all phases of this work, I was always, it always was surprising to me when we would have students that would say they were, they actually had good grades in a particular area, but you ask them, how are they doing? And they always kind of typically say, well, I don't know that I'm that good at it. So the whole goal here is that every time we engage students, it's to build their confidence level, help them understand that they can do this and spark those interests. So that's a key aspect of this. And again, you can involve all students at all levels, K-12. The example here is we have one of our programs that's been a part of this has been a micro grantee. They're one of our SAC programs down in Neosho that also works with students in the juvenile justice system. But they introduced their students to their robotics team to design and 3D printing and to secure classroom doors against school intruders. That was one of the projects that they did in theirs. So stage 3 is this immersion, engaging students in the process. Again, they actually will, we will provide initial connections. They will interact with peers and adults in this, in the support systems. They will look at the community values and that they will be interested. One of the things that I saw earlier, but I didn't hit on, and that is as far as in the Missouri, in the economic development of Missouri, statewide, we know that 78% of net new jobs in Missouri were created by startups, by entrepreneurs. Doesn't mean that we don't want to see big manufacturing come in our communities to provide high-paying jobs, but we also want to make sure that students understand they can create their own future, and that's a big part of the growth of the economy in our state as well. So again, just want to make sure the students are developing that further. And the example that's there is in St. Louis, the Allsup Entrepreneurship Academy, which is a summer engagement experience in St. Louis. I also wanted to reiterate that our timeline is a June 1st start, because you may decide you want to make this a summer engagement opportunity for your students. So please feel free to do that. We will also try to do our best to connect you to some of those resources in your region that we're aware of as we continue to build out and understand where things are happening in the youth entrepreneurship ecosystem around the state. And then that final stage is just launch. We are excited when we hear about Missouri students who are taking their business to the next level and they're actually creating an income stream for themselves, or whether that's the program. We mentioned earlier that the BGC of the Heartland in Poplar Bluff, that was a program level project where they developed an income stream for their kitchen club. So this is where we want to make sure that we help students find a way. I would also say in that stage 3, stage 4 is also for students. If you have students that are at that level and you see them already developing that, we want them to participate in the Missouri After School Network annual pitch challenge, which is going to happen again this year with a deadline of their pitch being submitted by July the 15th, which also, if they are one of the top 10, pitches in the state, they will also be eligible for the national pitch challenge that's going to be conducted by the Young Entrepreneur Institute this year. So we'll give more information about that. It's forthcoming as far as the state pitch challenge, but those are ways for students to also develop more opportunities to engage with mentors, as well as gain capital for their projects. So our curriculum and resource providers, we met Scott earlier, and I think Kelly has now joined us. And so I'm going to ask Kelly to unmute and introduce herself and talk a little bit about YEI.
Sounds great. Thank you, Mark and Aaron. Delighted to be here. I am Kelly Bigger, and I'm with the Young Entrepreneur Institute, and we're actually located in Cleveland, Ohio. But Jesse, who is my teammate, is also here with me, and we work in Ohio, but also across the nation. As I'm sure Scott explained, we're technical assistants for all of you. So a couple things that we have that we can offer. We have some great professional development. So we do an Inspire conference in November, and this year it will be a hybrid. So part of it will be in person and some will be virtual. So we'd love all of you to join us. And that's early November. We will send out the dates and the information as soon as we have it. The other thing we do are power hours, and we typically do this around 4 o'clock on the third Thursday of the month. So we pick a topic, whether it be leadership or marketing or social entrepreneurship. We've done kidpreneur days, weaving entrepreneurship into any subject. So just lots of great information out there in our power hours. So it's just a compilation of usually 4 resources on the topic and some educators that have used those resources. So those are all on our website under resources, under power hours. And we can make sure anybody is on our mailing list and you will get the power hour information. And these are all free of charge to you. So, and then in terms of pitch challenges, Mark mentioned we are going to have a national pitch challenge, and that is going to be up July 15th this year. We have flyers and a website that are in progress and should be done by the end of the week, but love to have anyone join in. Anybody can do it. We are actually doing this one at grades 5 through 12. And so a summer program or a spring program are welcome to join us. And to go along with that, we also have a pitch challenge toolkit. So if anybody's interested, I can put the link in the chat, but it's a free, very light lift toolkit that helps you go through problem identification, coming up with a business opportunity, putting it together in nice pitch content and structure, practicing, and some sort of culminating event. If you wanted to enter our contest, if you wanted to have a virtual competition in your program or live, or a showcase. So lots of different options with that. And then another nice thing that Mark and Aaron added here was our youth market price program. And it's something that I actually love. And this is when kids get to go to market. So in Northeast Ohio, we have connected with about 8 or so markets. And so we have a sign up genius on our website, and kids can sign up and go sell at the market with an adult. So, you know, we have kids with products anywhere from soaps to lip gloss to pictures to paintings to syrup. So just all kinds of things. They run the gambit, bracelets and masks, it goes on and on. So we would be happy to help you. We've had a lot of experience here in the Northeast Ohio area. If you would like to try to get some of your kids in your local farmers market or any place that's got a group of adults, whether it be a conference, a chamber event, a holiday gathering, happy to help all of you get involved in that. And as Scott probably said, you know, we are technical assistants. We are here to help. Jesse and I are here to consult. So anybody, if you want to talk with us, we're free of charge since we're so fortunate to be grant and foundation funded. I'm happy to, you know, go over your program, see what you're doing, see what you'd like to add, whether it's a tiny little thing or a whole year project. So we have tons of resources on our website that run the gambit. So happy to introduce those to you and talk to you individually. And I think as Aaron and Mark were saying, we're here to help you all along the way. So look forward to working with all of you. Thanks.
I do want to reiterate, here's a slide about the pitch challenge toolkit, Kelly, if you wanted just to refer to that real quickly. I know you mentioned it earlier.
Sure, sounds great. And I'll put the link, yepitch.com. So it's just a free quick registration. But as I said, this is a very light lift. You don't have to be an entrepreneur or even a teacher to to facilitate it, we tried to make it very easy and light lift for you to do. As I said, sort of, 3 meat and potato step: problem identification, business opportunity, and the content and structure. And then, we find the more the kids practice, as with anything, the better that they do and the more they gain confidence. And then some sort of culminating event. It can be whatever works for you, whether it's, 5 kids in your program or the whole state of Missouri. So it's always fun to have sort of an end in mind. And we also have a hosting guide. So if you need help hosting, we're also happy to help, but the guide will show you how to plan the challenge, and that, can be deciding whether it's a virtual challenge, a live challenge, where you're going to have it. We have a timeline in there so you can keep your end date in mind and work backwards. How to engage the community. Pitch challenges are an awesome way to grab community members and use them as judges or mentors or coaches or sponsors. So great way to pull in some of your local businesses, your chamber, some of your economic agencies near you, anyone that you're partnering with or would like to partner with, and then running the challenge. So everything is in the toolkit, and there are also videos that go with each program. There are worksheets, there are fillable worksheets if you want to do them online, samples, and videos of previous winners. So feel free to dip into that and use whatever you feel is applicable.
And I would also follow that up with say that when Kelly says it's free, it is free to you, and all of the resources on their website are available to you. Guest speakers, just go into their website and just mill around. I think you'll find something very, very useful to you in any of this work. So, and also just as we said earlier, when Scott popped on and we talked about VentureLab and YEI, we are incredibly blessed to have them as our TA providers and the support that they offer us. So thank you so much, Kelly. And speaking of Scott Mann and VentureLab, we'll let him take it from here for a few moments.
See if I can manage to unmute myself here. All right, yeah, Kelly and Jesse at YEI, colleagues and friends in this work for several years now, as we support the after school network. So that their pitch toolkit, their website, and just their knowledge, if you do get some time on her calendar, Kelly can definitely provide you some insight and perspective on how to bring entrepreneurship to your program. All right, thank you for that. And that's so VentureLab. We also similarly have a kind of a host of resources that are available to you. Going to kind of make it rain in the chat a little bit on some different spots where you can go and check those out at your leisure. Our resource page has some fun interactive things that you can take and no cost activities where you can bring to your kids today if you wanted to, and just have an entrepreneurial experience and get them excited about it and plug them into those mindsets of creativity and persistence and prototyping, all the things that they really get excited about when they're approaching their business and how they can become entrepreneurs. The second link there is to the curriculum. We have a variety of modular curriculums and then full programs that we provide through our partnership with Missouri After School Network. That online business builder that you see there is part of the resource page. It is an interactive space where students can go through and do some financial literacy and see if their business idea might come up with a profit, quickly print out a business plan. It's a lot of fun for them. And I met with the chamber the other day in North Carolina, and she was a small business consultant to the area local businesses. She said, I'm going to use this with some of them because I think they need to see this kind of basic outline. It would be helpful. And then finally, this Kelly spoke around the potential and the impact that a pitch event can have, whether you're participating in Missouri's, the state, and this national pitch competition that YEI is creating. VentureLab has some really great on-ramps if students are participating in a program that you're doing and they're getting ready to record a video. We have a bi-monthly pitch event. It's not a competition. It's actually next Thursday. So if a student that you know would like to enter into this, it's a safe space. It's in the evening, and they pitch to a panel of educators and entrepreneurs to just give them encouragement, feedback, and maybe some advice on their ideas. And the whole goal is to build their confidence and their courage. So they also get a $25 gift card after the fact if they're interested. Next. And these are the mindsets and skills that is really the foundation when Mark was talking about the myriad of ways that entrepreneurship connects to, for example, employability skills or academic skills, social emotional skills, and just kind of those, as adults, when we look at this, we're like, okay, these are things that I use in life. That's how VentureLab's philosophy, and we promote those things. And here is that one pager that is a great way. I keep that on the desk. I actually always have it right here at the beginning of all of our documents in our curriculum. So if you need anything, I'll put my email in the chat. Again, as technical assistants, we are here for you to help out in any way we can. So thank you for the time.
And I would also follow that up to say that one of the other programs that VentureLab offers is they have their Spark Mentoring Program. That is a 4-month one-to-one mentor opportunity that we have participated in as a state. We've had 4 young ladies from our state participate. One did it on her own, got a scholarship, I think. The other 3, and all 4 of them had participated in our state pitch contest. 1 young lady, 3 young ladies were from St. Louis. One was from in deep Southwest Missouri. And 1 young lady was from Mission St. Louis, which Beyond School, 21st Century grantee. The other 2 young ladies came from the Allsup Academy. They actually participated, and then those students then participated in our state pitch contest. So that's another opportunity that that we've tried to afford our students, is to get additional engagement with mentors, and we can do that. And that is also a part of our state pitch challenge as an award or a reward too. So anyway, we'll talk more about that as well. Hey, we've got Shakira on here with us, Shakira Washington with United by Creativity in Kansas City. For those who got on a little later, she and I were chatting just for a quick moment, because I saw Shakira yesterday because she brought 10 of her kiddos to the state capitol in Jefferson City. And Shakira not only has been an entrepreneur after school builder with starting United by Creativity in the middle of the pandemic, but also has become a great advocate and in really working hard to build relationships with legislators. But Shakira, just share a little bit with us about your how you've utilized the microgrant program to build opportunities for your students there in Kansas City.
All right. And hey, good morning, everybody. So I am glad to meet and talk to you guys, because if you're thinking about getting a micro grant or just kind of going for this, I would definitely suggest doing it. I had no idea what the Missouri After School Network was when I first applied for the micro grant. I had a brilliant business coach who shared the link with me, and I applied for it, and it was the best decision I made, because it's given me the opportunity to really grow as both an entrepreneur and in the after school space, and just learn more about the curriculum, the partnerships, the legislative part of it, just things I didn't even know I'm experiencing. And so I'm just really thankful and would really encourage everybody to do that and to just take that leap of faith.
So Shakira, your initial project, tell us just a quick overview of the project you did with your kiddos, because you also brought your students. You were another program that were a part of our first youth marketplace in November at Mosaic. Both the you and the BGC of the Heartland High School kids came with their t-shirts. So tell us a little bit about the project that you did with your students, just real quickly.
Yeah, so that project was the Art of Local History. And what it did was combine learning about different visionaries. Our kids learned about the value of purpose and how to use their purpose to, number 1, create money through entrepreneurship. And then number 2, how they can use that purpose to help and affect their community. So for the entrepreneurship purpose, they learned about people from Missouri. We learned about Walt Disney, Lucille Bluford, and Harry Truman. And then they also learned about Cave Spring Park, which is local to Kansas City, like Raytown. We actually have class there. So they learned about different histories, and then they wrote it up in a book that we published on Amazon. And the kids were able to sell that book at the youth marketplace and then earn their money and split their money that way, so that they can learn through their voice. They can create something tangible, and then they can use that tangible thing to earn money and to help others also.
Well, we are grateful for the opportunity to see some really creative projects. Shakira's is one of those, and I can't wait to see what happens out of these micro grants. So Shakira, thank you so much for sharing. And if I know that she would be willing, if you have any questions, she would be willing to share any insights and some of the lessons that she learned along the way. So if you have any questions for Shakira as well, just let her know and we will be glad to make sure you guys make that connection. So Shakira, if you're willing to put your email in the chat as well, so that if anybody has a question directly from you, that would be awesome.
Yes, well, I'm putting it in there now.
Thank you so much. And thanks for being with us. Busy young lady. So just some overview here on program, just on some programming, some program planning, just a basic way in which you want to lay out. You probably already have an idea about where you want to go with this, but just a quick, layout of what that would look like. Just it can be a new standalone entrepreneurship program. You can expand on something you've already done. You can add a component to what you've already done. Like Janelle is on here from Warrenton, and they did a hydroponics program last year. They're now looking at expanding into an outdoor garden, but also building on that and looking at students looking at both of those ways of gardening, and then also taking that then to their local. This will be the opportunity for them this spring to take it to their local farmers market. So you can also bring in various other programs in terms of like example, their leadership, post-secondary readiness under a common entrepreneurship umbrella. So these are ways. We love the word eSTEAM. That's a coined term from VentureLab, because you add entrepreneurship to science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. So great way of looking at that as well. Again, you don't have to do this alone. Everybody on here, everyone on here has folks in your community. If they were aware of what you're doing and you just give an ask, I know there are a lot of people that'd be willing to jump in and be a part of that. So this is just a list of potential partners that others have, or that you could take advantage of, but also list of folks that some of our programs have taken advantage of in terms of build those partnerships out, have them come and be a part of their projects. And we know this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a list of folks that you can reach out to. So glad, and we're glad to help. And if there's you may have some other questions about that. So here's one of the things that Aaron talked about earlier, and that is, if you become a grantee, then we are going to ask that you participate in our PLC, and these are monthly, the first Wednesday of the month. So our next one is going to be next Wednesday. And so, that is the first Wednesday of each month. And then you will also be able to participate in training and coaching by our national providers, Young Entrepreneur and Student VentureLab. Then you will also help us by providing a project-related evaluation and complete a brief final report by the end of December, so December 31st, 2022. And then we want to make sure that we credit Mason and the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation for the sponsorship of these projects. And then we have had several of our folks share during Zoom webinars or conference sessions. And so hopefully, as your project is successful, that we may ask you to be a part of sharing as well. May not be on just you by yourself, but maybe as a part of a panel or others. So we'd love for you to be available to do that so that others are inspired to do likewise. These are just some quick housekeeping items. If you are selected, you'll be notified. And then we will make sure that we get your W-9 and that you will have a consulting agreement with the University of Missouri, because they're our fiscal agent. And then we will get an invoice. You will get 50% of the grant award once all that is presented. You'll get the first half of your award within 2 to 4 weeks after the invoice. And then when you send your final project report to us, then you will get your second payment on that. So the project will be split into 2 payments. And we are, again, excited. We love being in this spot, by the way, to support you financially and have some resources to help you. So This is fun. Just a quick graphic on the timeline. Here we are. The applications are due by April 30th, and then we'll have a PLC in May. Notification will happen by May 15th. And then our June PLC, July PLC, and then round 3 project can begin the 1st of June if you like. Also, just looking ahead, September, November, December. November is a big month because you heard Kelly talk about the Inspire Conference. We also have Global Entrepreneurship Week in that month, as well as our MOSAC Conference, which is the professional development conference that Mason sponsors. So lots happening, but lots to look forward to. And so, ready to apply. Go ahead and get those applications in by April 30th, and we will make sure the link is in the chat as well. But if you have any questions at all, just let us know, but make sure you answer those 10 questions, and we will get you notified if you are one of the grantees, and you can begin by June 1st. If you have any questions, please reach out to Aaron or me, and we are glad to be able to help in any way possible. So do we have any questions? We are kind of right at our 45 minutes, but we will take a few minutes. If you have any questions about any of this, we are glad to do so. And just again, glad that you all have joined us today. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to, or Aaron, I saw you unmute. Go right ahead.
Yep. Renata asked about the webinar. So once it's completed, it will be uploaded on the website, and I will drop the link where you will be able to find that into the chat. So you may have already seen it on our Mason website, but that will take you straight there. And the link that says click here to register, so the same exact link that you used to get here will then take you to the recording once we're finished today.
Awesome. Any other questions? Or anything else anybody wants to add to what we've shared today?
I have a question.
You bet.
Okay, so let's say that our project gets chosen, we are part of the PLC. Who would you suggest would be a part of that particular PLC? Would that be more administration, or would that be like staff that are really over the project?
So that's a great question, Gail. And I would say yes and yes. And what we had is we would want the folks that are definitely working directly with the project to be a part of the PLC, because then we're getting their questions answered, and also they're sharing with us their experiences. But we've also had program administrators attend that, so that they're getting the kind of the macro view of what's happening with everybody in the PLC. So other programs around the state. So you're welcome to have anyone attend, but specifically we want to have those folks who are directly involved in the project that's being funded, so that they're giving us their feedback, and then they're getting their questions answered as well. The other thing I want to make sure, and that was a great question, and I want to go back to both what all of us have said. When I say all of us, meaning Aaron, I, as well as Kelly and Scott. Not only do they get the interaction with the PLC, but when Kelly and Scott say, if you have a question, reach out to us, they mean that. And I mean, that's the other opportunity that you get and you gain as a part of being a part of that PLC and being a grantee, is that, you know, and they are willing to answer any email or pick up the phone and chat with you to make sure that things are answered and clarified and helped. So that's another aspect of that.
And just real quick, Mark, I did unmute to say that is 1000% true. All of these people from Mark to Aaron just started and I already feel like we're good friends, and Kelly has supported our program, and Scott from, I mean, you can email these people at any moment. Mark answered this one at Disney World. Like, I promise you, I would not have the confidence to do half of the things I do if it weren't for their support. So it's really like a family atmosphere, and you're not going to fail. And if you feel like you are failing, just reach out and they will get you on track. I promise.
And to follow up what Shakira just said, failure is just a part of the process anyway, right, guys?
Yes, 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 definitely part of the process.
Scott's getting out his stickers. Embrace failure. That's right. Oh, and I will tell you this, and I know we're still being recorded, but I love this because this is conversational. I found my notes, so this is really key. I met Scott and Kelly and Jesse at a meeting in Chicago. I met the VentureLab folks and the YI folks at a meeting in Chicago before I knew I was coming on to the network team. I knew that it was a possibility, but I was at a Mott meeting. I found my notes the other day from that meeting in April 2019. And I was going through them like, oh my gosh, we're living this. This is so cool. And so anyway, it was really cool. And thank you, Shakira, for sharing that. It's always good to hear it from other voices besides Mark's, who's the hype man for YEI and VentureLab. So any other questions?
Another question.
You bet. You bet.
And not that we're going to do this, but can you apply like if you have more than one site?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was glad you asked that question. I think that's a great question because it's not just for one organization. If you feel like you've got a couple of projects that are worthy of that and you've got the budget, then absolutely do that. Okay. Because I think that the goal for us is we want to make sure that these dollars are being utilized and are reaching as many students as possible. So if you happen to have a couple of projects, then absolutely apply for it. I can't guarantee they're going to get funded, but obviously apply and if you don't apply, you don't have the chance, right? So do that. And yes, you're welcome to do that. Yep. Renata?
How many times does this grant come out annually?
So we've done this. We did this in we did it in the fall of 2020, and then we did it last year in the spring of 2022. And those were also summer fall grants. So
Okay.
you could choose your project. So we were kind of on the end of a grant period with Mott. So we didn't do one in the fall because we had it going on. It finished up in December of 2021. So we gave a little bit of time. And so we decided we were just going to do it again like we did last year. So right now we're doing them on an annual basis, and they're typically a summer fall project. But one of the things that we've also said is we want these projects to also set you up for continuation. And then if we have, other funding coming along, we want to do that as well. That's why Aaron mentioned in his notes that whether this is the continuation of something you've already started, or if you're launching a new project, that's totally fine. These dollars, what we know or what we believe, what's best in your local context. We want you to frame that in, tell us about the project, how it's best going to meet the needs in your community. And we trust you to use those dollars to best meet the needs in your community and in your local context.
Okay, so since this is my first time being on this platform, I'm not really familiar with this, but I did get the word from Mr. Sharp. He told me about this program, so that's why I'm here. So
Absolutely.
I would definitely need some assistance. Who can I reach out to besides, I guess, do I reach out to these people on the side that put their information in there?
Absolutely. So you can reach out to Aaron or to me if you need some
Okay.
additional help on the grant itself and any questions you might have about that. Okay.
Yeah, I would
So
definitely need that. Okay.
absolutely reach out to us, and we love Orlando. We're glad he gave you the
Okay.
he
Yeah,
and
we actually
Gail,
went
they're
to
awesome.
together. All right. Oh, I did have one more question, but it was about another grant. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, but I just want to ask, since you guys was from the same organization.
Yep, go right ahead.
Oh, I was gonna do it offline.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that at the end.
Thank you.
You bet. We'll make sure we hang on for a few minutes and you can do that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions about this particular micro grant? We're covering our bases here. Awesome. So thank all of you for being with us, taking some time out of your busy days. Hopefully over the last few weeks, there may have been a few days where you catch your breath with some spring break time. I know sometimes it doesn't happen for after school folks just because they continue to provide that full care during those times when students aren't in school. But if you have, I hope you have, and kind of that stretch run toward the end of the school year. So we got you in our thoughts as you guys do that. And again, any questions you might have about this particular grant or anything related to the Missouri After School Network and the projects that we are, the initiatives that we are doing, we were glad to answer those questions. We have a great team that are willing to support in that. So thanks again for all of you for joining us. And we look forward to your projects starting to come in, your applications coming in. It's always an exciting time when we get to read what's possibly going to happen. So we look forward to that. So thanks again for joining us.